What is up, YouTube? So today I'm going to do a quick video on some tips for door dashing. So if you're looking to get into the door dashing scene, make a little bit extra money on the side, I'm going to share my experience and advice on how best to optimize your time and get as many dashes as you possibly can in as little time as possible. So stay tuned. Alrighty, so you've either already decided to become a food delivery person, or you're thinking about it and you're wondering, is it really worth your time and effort? Or you're already doing it and you're wondering, maybe is there some way I can possibly maximize my earnings and make more than what I'm actually making at this time. I've been doing this for several months now. I work with Doordash. There are others, obviously, Grub Hub, Waitr, Postmates, and what have you. I'm not really familiar with any of those. I signed up for them, but I never actually drove for them since I decided to stick with Doordash, as it's actually the most popular service in my local area. So what I've learned over the last few months with Doordash is that the best way to make money is to figure out the area that you want to serve and stick with that. You'll find that they will give you orders and want to send you 10-15 miles away from the center of activity, and when you get out there, there's no other restaurants, there's no available dashes to be had in those remote locations. Now, if you're dashing in an area like that, you may find that that's all you can do. And if that's the case, then there's really not a whole lot else you can do. However, if you're dashing in a city or in an urban area and there are multiple hubs, as it were, for example, here in Pensacola, we've got the area around Cordova Mall, the 9 Mile area, and then you've got the downtown area. Of course, you can also go over to the Perdido Key area, Warrington, run up to Pace Milton. There are several different areas that you can stick in and find deliveries in those areas and stick to them. And I suggest you do that if at all possible. If you're in a urban area where you can stick within a 5 or 6 mile radius of your cluster of restaurants, that would be ideal. That way, as soon as you complete a delivery, you're ready to go for the next one, and you don't have to worry about driving all the way back to wherever your restaurants are before you get put back on the queue. So when you're dashing, just keep in mind, when you accept a delivery, only accept ones that are within a reasonable distance of your restaurants. Don't take deliveries that are real far away, even if they offer, you know, a better pay. For example, if they offer you $12 to drive 8 miles away, but whenever you get there, you're not going to be able to get another order till you drive back into the center of activity. That's $12 an hour. It can easily take you an hour to make that one delivery. Whereas if you stick within your radius of activity, you could possibly make 2 or 3 deliveries, $7-8 deliveries within that same hour. You can make, considerably more than $12 an hour. So it's better to make short deliveries, even if they don't pay as well as, some of the longer ones with a higher dollar amount, simply because you can make more of them in a shorter period of time and you stay in the action. The second way you can do it, you can maximize your time, is to pick and choose which restaurants you take orders from. For example, if you know that, I'm just going to use this as an example, Burger King, for example. If you get a $5 order from Burger King, it's a 3-mile radius delivery. Theoretically, it shouldn't take you but maybe 5 or 10, 15 minutes to make that delivery. You're done, you're ready to go again. Unfortunately, that's not been my experience. You get stuck in drive-thru, or you get stuck waiting in line. They don't have the food ready. It's consistent, you know. You've done this 2 or 3 times, and every time you go to this restaurant, it's always, you know, a 20, 30-minute waiting on them to get you the food. And now you've killed all this time for $5. It's really not worth it. So be judicious about which orders you take from which restaurants you take them from. Also, after you've done this for a while, you'll get to know your customers. You'll start seeing the same faces, the same locales over and over again. Get familiar with your areas. Learn shortcuts to and from places. You'll learn which customers actually offer better tips, provide better service, give better ratings. You don't have to take every order that pops up on your screen. I know a lot of people, they look at their ratings and they see acceptance rate, and they think they have to keep that above a certain percentage and, you know, make it look good and what have you. Customers don't see that. The acceptance rate really has no bearing on your performance. Working for Doordash, anyway, you are a contractor. You don't have to take the deliveries. If you don't like it for whatever reason, don't take it. If it's not profitable for you, don't take it. So if your acceptance rate drops down, it doesn't really matter. Be judicious. Be very picky about what orders you take and where you take them and who you take them from. And in the end, after you've learned your area and your customers, you be judicious about who you take them to. If every time you take an order to customer A, to Mr. Jim, for example, he complains about this, that, or the other, no matter what you do, you can't please him, stop taking orders to him. You don't have to. If you see that order pop up from Mr. Jim at, you know, the same address you taken to him several times before, and he's always got some issue with the order, no matter what it is, no matter what you've done, just don't take it to him anymore. Decline the order and let someone else deal with the hassle. That way you keep your ratings high. You don't want your customer satisfaction rating to drop. If it gets below, I believe, a 4.1 or something like that, they can actually deactivate your account. So yeah, you want to keep your customer ratings high. So if you've got a problem customer that's always dissatisfied no matter what you do, just don't deal with them anymore. Also, another tidbit of advice. A couple of weeks ago, my wife and I were out door dashing. We took this humongous order of food. It's like $90-something worth of sushi to this fella. Personally handed it to him. Okay. Now, whenever you make a personal delivery through DoorDash, you don't typically take a picture of the delivery. Now, if you just leave it at their door, you take a picture and send it to them, so there's, you know, photographic evidence that you've made the delivery. But whenever you hand orders to customers, you don't typically take pictures. There's no proof per se that you gave the customer their order. And apparently this guy knew that. So we gave the food to him, and we didn't make it maybe a couple of miles down the road after dropping the food off and leaving a good rating for this fellow, that he reports to DoorDash that he didn't receive his food. Now, this was actually my wife's first time door dashing. This was her very first day, and boom, she's got a major strike on her account. And she informed DoorDash that, you know, the guy lied, that she did make the delivery, went back and took pictures of the apartment complex the actual apartment door itself, describe the guy, and even to the detail that whenever he answered the door, he had to usher his little Pomeranian dog back inside 2 or 3 times while she was trying to give him the food. And it was a big order, so several bags of food to give him. Describe what he looked like and the whole 9 yards. At the end of the day, Doordash didn't care. They refunded the man his money and left the red mark on my wife's account. Basically informed her that if it happened again, they would deactivate her. It was at that point that we realized that having photographic evidence of every single delivery, regardless if you hand it to the person or not, is absolutely imperative. With that in mind, we started videoing every single delivery. Now, I'm using my GoPro, as you can see here. I've got it mounted to my chest mount, and every time I go to make a delivery, I pick up and delivery actually. When I get ready to walk into a restaurant, I turn the GoPro on. I describe the order, the restaurant it's coming from, who it's going to. I go in, I pick up the order. I turn the camera back off after I've received the order. And then whenever I get close to the customer's location, I turn the camera back on and once again describe the order, where I'm taking it to, who I'm delivering it to. And I video me making the delivery, whether it is an in-person delivery or a contactless delivery. I have video evidence of every single delivery. Now, a lot of people are kind of self-conscious about this, and a lot of folks may say, well, Heroes, GoPros are expensive, blah blah blah. Guys, you can pick up a body camera, just a little action cam from Walmart, and I think it's a Vivitar brand, for like $30. The chest mount you get off Amazon. To be honest with you, I got this one in a kit, so I paid like $20-25 for a big old case of accessories. It's got a head mount, it's got a chest mount, it's got a tripod, it's got a floaty mount. I mean, there's all kinds of mounts in it. And these action cameras pretty much all mount the same way. So if a GoPro can mount to it, typically any other action cam can mount as well. But that's something you want to pay attention to if you do get with one of the different brands other than GoPro, because most mounts are made specifically for GoPro, but most action cams have those little 2 feet on the bottom of the camera to mount with. Guys, I can't stress enough, you really, really want to video or have photographic evidence of every single delivery. Now, if you can't, you absolutely cannot get a little separate camera, go ahead and use your phone. Minimize the Doordash screen, pull up your video camera, and video the delivery while you're making it. And then after you're done making the delivery, go back into your phone, turn off the video, go back into your Doordash app, and complete the delivery then. That way, you at least have some evidence that you made the deliveries. Most customers, since that incident anyway, every customer, as a matter of fact, that I've come in contact with, a lot of them ask, why are you wearing a camera? And I explain it to them. They're like, oh, well, that makes sense. That's a good idea, blah, blah, blah. People tend to understand. It's usually the ones that are scamming or trying to pull a scam that will get upset with you. So don't be afraid. I mean, this is, especially if you're doing this as a livelihood, if this is not just like a side hustle, as it were, if this is how you make your money, you depend on this delivery service for, to pay your bills and what have you, you want to protect yourself. This is a personal business. This is your reputation, and who knows, in the long run, after door dashing for however long, you decide you want to start up your own food delivery service, brand it yourself. You don't want a bad reputation to follow you. You want to be able to protect yourself. So by all means, please do what you have to do, and do not worry about what the general public thinks about what you're doing as you're doing it. as long as you're protecting yourself. If the customers don't like you videoing them, well, you know, sorry. By the time they express their displeasure with you videoing them, you've already videoed them. So that's the main goal of this whole thing. You want to have evidence that you've completed your deliveries. Now, having said that, you don't want to put these people's images on the internet. You don't want to share these videos with anybody at all. Do not go around videoing people as you make deliveries and then put them on Facebook or put them on YouTube. You don't want to do that. This is for your own personal protection. Keep the videos, you know, for several days, a week, maybe a couple of weeks. Make sure that there's not going to be any complaints about the delivery, just to cover yourself. I mean, quite honestly, videos take up a lot of hard drive space. So you don't want to keep them indefinitely. But after a period of time, it's obvious that they're not going to go back and try to scam something. Delete the videos. Don't keep them. Don't post them. And don't share them with anybody except for Doordash. And only in that event you want to share them with Doordash is if they're claiming something happened or didn't happen that did or didn't. You've got your video evidence. But once they've expired, once the window for making a claim has diminished, you can go ahead and get rid of them. You don't need them, and that way you free up your hard drive space. You're protecting yourself, and in the end of the day, your business can go ahead and flourish. So anyway, I'm going to hop off here right now. I'm getting ready to start my Doordash, and I will hit y'all back up later. Have a good day. Alright guys, so I'm going to put this out there, kind of a mini rant. If you order food from Doordash, Grub Hub, Waitr, or any other food delivery service, leave your driver a tip. It is just ridiculously wrong, rude, to order $30, $40, $50 worth of food, expect somebody to drive it 4, 5, 10 miles away to you, deliver it to your specifications for little to nothing other than the base rate. And for DoorDash, that's $3. $3. So if you continue doing that, eventually your local drivers are going to get wind of your extreme cheapness, and you're not going to be able to find anyone to deliver your food. This is my second It's Just Wings order of the day. Both of them came in for the base $3 rate. One wanted me to deliver it for 6 miles. This one's 3. I went ahead and took this one just to see what it was about. I'm not going to make another delivery for no tip. So guys, if you expect to continue receiving your food through DoorDash or any other food delivery service, you need to start tipping your drivers. Just the same as if you were to go to a restaurant and tip your servers, tip your drivers. And that's the end of this rant.